What's going on, everyone? This is Robert and Colton here from Bridging the Geekdoms podcast.
Did you just assume my gender?
I might have.
I identify as not Locke.
Well, all right. So, anyways, what's going on, everyone? Again, Robert Colton here.
Not Locke. Damn it. Fuck.
This episode is going to be our first Marvel special. I can't talk. Marvel special as Bridging the Geekdoms podcast.
Wow.
So we're going to be talking about everything, for the most part, all Marvel. We have some new stuff in the beginning portion of it that we're going to talk about, but for the most part, it's going to be all Marvel. So, first off, how's your week been there?
I'm fucking sunburnt, man.
Yeah. Note to selves: wear sunblock when playing airsoft.
I don't think it would have mattered though. I think we would eventually sweat it off.
Maybe.
I like your tan line. I just saw the watch line.
No, that's from the band that you get for when you pay. This is the watch line right here, which isn't as noticeable. So,
see, mine isn't.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
As everybody can see what we're showing.
The good thing we're a visual show. But we're super fucking sunburned.
Yeah, pretty much sucks.
How many times did I kill you, Bob?
I think twice.
Yeah, how many times did you kill me?
Not once.
Exactly.
Okay. So, like I said, this is the Marvel special. We have a few non-Marvel related news things that have come up over the past few days or past week that I want to touch on, and then we're going to just jump into Marvel stuff.
Wait.
Talk.
Are we jumping?
I'm not jumping yet.
Damn it.
So, first and foremost, the non-Marvel news.
Yay!
Ash vs. Evil Dead has been canceled.
No.
Yeah, unfortunately, it seems that they're just not happy with the ratings that they're getting. While I'm seeing on Facebook a lot of people passing things around, like they show The Walking Dead and how like the Rotten Tomato scores on The Walking Dead have dropped per season, and it's lower than it's ever been, and it's lower than Ash vs. Evil Dead, while Ash vs. Evil Dead each season has been like right in the mid-90s with their ratings. Yeah. And people are like, this doesn't make any sense. You got to realize that it's not just the overall. It's what the
producer and the channel want.
Yeah, it's what the channel wants. Like it could have a good rating, but think about it. If 10,000 people watch the show and those 10,000 people like it and they say, hey, we like it, but for the show to stay on, they need 20,000 people to watch it. Yeah. It's not going to change. It doesn't matter what kind of score it has. They need that 20,000 people. Yeah. And that's just an example. Those aren't the actual numbers. But
it's like 2 million to 4 million, probably.
Exactly.
Realistically.
Yeah. And if you take a look at The Walking Dead, it's the same thing.
They need 6 million. They're just ballpark 500,000.
Well, no. Walking Dead, for instance, they need 2 million people, and they're getting 4 million people watching it. Even though those 4 million people hate it, they're still getting the people watching it. So why wouldn't it keep going? That is the difference. But Ash vs. Evil Dead, in my opinion...
You heard it here, Bridging the Geekdoms. Boycott Walking Dead.
Ash vs. Evil Dead, I watched the first 2 seasons, haven't got into the 3rd season yet.
You're the 3rd season.
The 2nd season seemed to start going down for me, so I'm actually not surprised that people kind of walked away from watching it. I don't know. I love the Ash character. I love the Evil Dead films.
I like them in Pokemon.
Kind of stuff, but for the most part, it probably should have only been like a 1-2 season type of show or limited run series to begin with. But that's just my opinion, because I just didn't see how it was going to have that lasting power, because it lost something. Like the first season kind of both seasons, and I'm sure the 3rd season also, like I said, I haven't seen it, but it references only the first movie, The Evil Dead. It doesn't reference Army of Darkness at all. And you can only reference it so many times until it gets a little old.
Yeah, so it lost its nostalgic effect.
Yeah, that's pretty much all. There were 2 big trailers that dropped this past week. The first one, I don't know what order they came in. But the first one we're going to talk about is Jurassic World, and their final trailer dropped. What'd you think?
I was interested before I watched that final trailer.
See, I haven't been interested in the movie at all. This one actually piqued my interest slightly. I just think it's ridiculous that, like you said, it's kind of rehashing the first Jurassic World film. Yeah. And in my opinion, what they're doing is they're combining Jurassic World 1, the first film, and the second Jurassic Park, which was The Lost World.
Yeah.
It's like they're combining those 2 movies.
And it's just like, stop.
Yeah.
It's just, you can only genetically modify so much.
Yeah, until it just gets ridiculous.
Until you're literally genetic.
And I'm sorry, I am completely sick and tired of seeing this stupid raptor being trained by
Chris Pratt.
Like, it's stupid. It is absolutely stupid.
Yeah, it is borderline dumb.
TV shut off again?
Yeah, I think it's the power cord. Anyway.
Okay, hopefully it's recording still.
Yeah, I didn't touch the keyboard, so it probably is.
The second trailer was Deadpool 2. And
very Cable-centric.
Yeah, I mean, they're pushing Cable. They're pushing Cable a whole bunch, obviously. But I don't think he's the villain. Like, I don't think he's the main villain. I just think he's an obstacle in the way, in Deadpool's way.
Deadpool's the main villain in Deadpool.
So I guess we'll see. I mean, this definitely gave us a little more story of what's happening, but it still didn't give us a lot. I obviously love the joke towards DC, the DC universe.
Damn, man, that's dark.
Yeah, you sure you're not from the DC universe?
And it's funny because he's the only one there that would have got that reference.
Yeah, but that was excellent, and the jokes in the trailer are funny. I'm just hoping that those aren't the best jokes.
They probably are.
I also have a feeling that some of them that we heard in the trailer will be changed in the movie. Like that, for some reason, the one that really didn't hit for me was that moment where he and Cable were on like the train or the truck or whatever, and it's driving, and he's Cable shooting at him like point blank, and he's trying to hit the bullets with his swords. Like, that joke didn't land with me when he was like, "Wow, your bullets are fast." Like, okay, I giggled a little bit, but that's not
that's not funny.
It's not funny.
It's not like
Deadpool.
Oh my god.
I have a feeling there's gonna be a different line in the movie for that. So, and that's the thing, that the ability they have, because he wears a mask, they could essentially put whatever
the hell they want there, and,
exactly.
and we can believe it.
Yeah.
Until like 20 years down the line when we're reading like a BuzzFeed article.
So Deadpool 2, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to see the movie. So that's that. Linda Carter is in talks to join Wonder Woman 2. Do you even know who Linda Carter is?
She's a woman.
What kind of woman?
She has a vagina.
She was the Wonder Woman from the TV show.
Told you, had a vagina. I knew that, weirdly enough.
But there's also reports hinting to a 1980s setting for Wonder Woman 2, and that it will and Wonder Woman will take on the Soviet Union.
But we never.
So it's like a Cold War thing.
But we never fought the Soviet Union.
Cold War.
Yeah, but it was just political tensions.
It doesn't mean that there has to be an all-out boots on ground war.
But yeah, it does.
No. Especially since Cheetah's going to be in the movie. I'm
You're
sure
a cheetah.
Cheetah's probably going to be of Russian descent and blah, 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 that kind of stuff. So.
In Soviet Russia.
In Soviet Russia, Cheetah is you.
Bear ride you on a cycle and marry you.
Reports are WB and DC are developing a Birds of Prey film with 2 scripts currently in development. Both, as of right now, feature Batgirl Barbara Gordon.
Nice. Pre or post paralysis?
Since it says Batgirl, I want to say pre. But here's the interesting thing. Remember, Josh Whedon was going to make a Batgirl movie, and he was like, "I can't figure out how to do a script, blah blah blah." And then he walked away from Warner Brothers and DC and everything.
I think that was his cop out.
Ironically, after he fucked up Justice League, but
it was his cop out.
But yeah, probably. They said that Batgirl was still going to be moving forward. I think what they decided to do is not just make a Batgirl film, but make a Birds of Prey with Batgirl, and it could be Catwoman, it could be Harley Quinn, it could be there's so many different people that they could throw in that movie, Poison Ivy, and call it Birds of Prey. It's just about bringing women on screen is what they're looking to do.
It's about bridging the geekdoms.
It looks like Spielberg is going to be headed to Warner Brothers and DC Films for Nighthawk.
Nice. That could be interesting.
Yeah. Nighthawk is the one character from Wonder Woman, actually. He was... crap, I can't remember his name. But anyways, yeah, so my guess is it's going to be like a movie that takes place back, maybe even during World War II.
Yeah, no, that would be cool.
Something like that. So.
That'd be cool.
Deadpool 2 director David Leitch is going to be directing the Division movie, which is going to be based off of the 2016 Ubisoft game of the same name.
Oh my god.
Jake Gyllenhaal and Jessica Chastain are set to star.
How can you make a game about that?
A game? A movie?
A movie. That's what I meant.
Actually, I think it warrants a movie. I think the story is good enough for a movie.
You played the story?
Yeah.
I played 15 minutes of that game and was like, nope.
First off, the first when it came out, the first like 7 or 8 hours that you could play when you first got it was all story. I played the story, beat it, and then I think I got one of the updates or the
add-ons or whatever.
Add-ons. And I mean, it's an interesting story, like how on Black Friday, they
went out to
they tainted the money. So the people in the world who are passing money back and forth, everybody's touching that money, getting this like black plague, this sickness and dying and causing complete mayhem in the city of New York. It makes sense. It's actually a really cool concept. Not saying that it's cool that it happened, but a cool idea for a film.
They got so excited they died from those Black Friday deals.
So I think it's kind of cool. I think it'll be kind of interesting to see how they take it and where they go. You are completely off your game today, by the way.
I really am. I'm like still tired, man. It's crazy.
But yeah, I think it's a cool idea to do the movie. I think it should have just.
It should have been a movie to begin with.
That's the thing. Like, I sit here and think about things like, people are loving God of War right now. So the other day, I watched some God of War stuff on
it's a good computer. Game. It's an interesting story.
First off, it's not a fucking game.
No, it is. It's more of a game than what you think it is.
It's more of a game than The Last of Us. But I'm sorry, I can't stand the thing. I can't stand games that tell you what to do. Like they
you don't like the button sequences.
Exactly, it's stupid. Like,
hey,
don't tell me what to do.
Everybody, if you like button sequences, like and subscribe to the Bridging the Geekdoms podcast.
But you think about it, like
stick it to Bob.
That is, I mean, I guess I can't sit here and say that it's not a video game because it is.
That's a very top grossing.
But the problem is, we've played this game how many times now? The very first time I ever saw the button sequencing thing was Devil May Cry back in 2001.
Yeah, that's been a while.
And they've been doing it nonstop, and they haven't improved on the system. It's the same damn system as it was back then.
But you got that story to.
Again,
Kratos is
make it a movie. Read a book.
Kratos
a lot cheaper than making the video game, probably.
Kratos' story is about the rise and fall of the Ghost of Sparta.
I'm just saying.
Except for 4, I haven't touched 4 yet.
Just saying. It didn't need to be a video game for that story.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. And people probably think I just hate PlayStation games.
I'm actually starting to think you hate PlayStation games.
It's partially true, but honestly, again,
how do you feel about Crash Bandicoot?
I don't hate it.
Yeah, you're against PlayStation.
What? Here's the thing. Like, you think about it. Like,
Star Wars Jedi battles.
That game was awesome.
Okay. We're cool.
Alex and I used to stay up all night playing that when we were younger. Anyways, my whole thing is when you make a video game, when you make a game, you should be trying to push the type of game it is forward. So if it's a first-person shooter, you should be doing something different to push that type of genre forward.
But that's what we ran into the problem with Call of Duty.
But again, that's the thing. Yes, Call of Duty did not do that. They tried it with their Black Ops. They tried it and they failed.
Wait, Black Ops was cool though.
And they failed.
I liked Black Ops.
All right, and what was the other one? Not Black Ops, but
Advanced Warfare.
Advanced Warfare.
I don't know.
Whatever.
I think it was Advanced Warfare.
Either way, but here's the thing: 90% of what Call of Duty has done has been the same exact thing, game after game. Mm-hmm. They tried 1 time, 2 times to change it, and they failed. And they're like, "Oh crap, we got to go back to what we only know." And like, that's not what you do. Like,
zombies.
Exactly, that's not what you do. You have to. Okay, I failed, but how can we continue pushing forward and trying to fix what we failed on? Halo. They did that their first 3 games. The first game was very simplistic first-person shooter. Second game, they added some stuff to it, and the multiplayer aspect was huge.
I was going to say, there was no multiplayer, and there really wasn't anything in, 2004?
Yeah, and then Halo 3, they kind of...
Halo 3 was the turning point in that franchise.
Improved and pushed things a little further for the franchise. Halo Reach kind of... didn't do much. They started the squad-based thing for Halo, and then they got rid of it. So you can see
Halo Reach was for the story, and that's it.
Yeah, but you take a look and see the game. I like the game. The gameplay was
Halo. I loved the story for Halo Reach.
But again, a franchise, it should be about furthering that genre, making it something different, changing things. And when you take a look at Devil May Cry and God of War, this current God of War, they're essentially the same freaking game with just different coats of paint. And that's what makes me mad with video games.
But you could say that for all first-person shooters.
No, you can't. Look, I just gave you examples of Halo, how they've pushed. Now, lately they haven't.
But that's all first-person shooters. You can only innovate so much.
Not true. No, that is not true at all. You can do so many different things.
Name one.
Okay, so you take a look. Go from the first first-person shooter that was huge, Doom. Like that is the first one that was huge.
Like, I would say Wolfenstein.
Doom was bigger.
I'll say Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein was one of the first, yes, but I'm not saying the very first.
I'm just trying to piss you off.
I'm not saying the very first. I'm saying the biggest, the one that grabbed people's attention the most, and that's Doom.
It's because it was gory.
So you take a look at Doom.
Gory.
And what was the latest first-person shooter to come out?
Probably. I don't even know. Probably Call of Duty.
All right, so we'll look at Call of Duty.
No.
Look at the differences of those. They're not.
But think of
the biggest similarity to it is it's called a first-person shooter. You got a picture of a gun and it moves around. That's the biggest
where the
similarity.
gun sticks out of your chest, over 5 feet away from you.
But that's the biggest similarities. Besides that, the games have drastically changed over the years. You go from Doom, you go to GoldenEye, you go to Halo.
Then take the past 5 years.
Those are the big things. And that is my point. Have I played a first-person shooter in the past 5 years? No, because they've all fucking sucked.
Exactly.
Because they're not.
That's
doing
been
anything.
my point.
They're not doing anything. Now, granted, Battlefield 1 was really good, but
at its core, it's still what Battlefield's been, but World War I.
Exactly, and that was why I stopped playing it so quickly, because I played it nonstop for 3 or 4 months, and then I was just like, all right.
It's Battlefield.
Exactly.
But that's where we're running into. There's no originality left in the world.
And because people keep buying the same old shit constantly.
That's been my point.
that's the problem. People need to stop buying the Call of Duties year after year.
Exactly. And that was my point. Like Devil May Cry and God of War may be the same thing, but no one's doing anything new for ever.
Yeah, but that's why I can't sit there and say a game is good when it's just an exact copy of something that came out 15 years ago. So God of War could be an amazing story.
It's fucking phenomenal.
But my problem is I'm not going to play that game for the story. I want to play a game to be immersed in the game, the entire game.
You ever play Gears of War?
Everybody's like, Last of Us is such a good game.
It's a good story.
It's a great story. So I started playing it. Okay, the story's kind of cool. Predictable, but cool. But the gameplay's just ass. And it's just
that's when you need to get
playing
super drunk and commentate it. I did a fucking 5-hour story about George Washington during that goddamn game, where he was a zombie, but he was setting out the weapons for you ahead of you. It was fucking beautiful. I had people crying. It was awesome. Anyway, I forget where I was going with that.
Yeah, I don't know where you're going with
that. But no, there's no originality left in the world, so I don't. That's why, Far Cry 5. Yeah, I'm about to catch some hate. Fucking great game, but it's no different than Far Cry 4. It's really no different than Far Cry Primal, except for the time periods. That's the only thing that excites people anymore.
And that's the problem I have with video games. And I think that's a big reason why I've slowly been getting out of video games. Because
I've been going backwards. I've been going more retro.
That's what, and a lot of people are doing that. One of my really good friends, Jason, he is almost solely a retro gamer now. He buys the Nintendo systems because he really likes the Zelda and Mario games.
That's why I have all the systems.
But he doesn't play. Oh, he does play Xbox. He has an Xbox One because he plays Halo, but even that's retro at this point.
Because we haven't had
the original 3 Halos are pretty much retro at this point. You
can't even say Reach is retro.
So, and he likes playing the Master Chief. That is the only reason why he has an Xbox One is for the Master Chief collection. He plays nothing else on that except for that. And
Rocket League's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's not that kind of guy. He's not a Rocket League kind of guy, but. That's what he does. He just went to a retro gaming convention this past weekend.
That's who that was?
Yeah, and that's what he likes to do, retro stuff. And that's where a lot of people our age, within that 10-year range of us, that's what people are doing now. The younger crowd is still I want my PS4 because I want to play this.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I have a PS4, Xbox One, and a Switch. But I honestly play my PS2 more than I play anything, to be honest. Yeah. You can't go wrong with the original Battlefront 2. You got the original GTAs.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, we're going to get off of that boat here.
That was a good video game conversation. Yeah. We don't have those very often here.
No. We're going to get into Marvel news really quick.
Wait.
We're not jumping yet.
Damn it.
Marvel news. There's a new rumor that has surfaced that X-Men Dark Phoenix will be the last Fox X-Men film. Supposedly, Kevin Feige has plans to bring X-Men and Fantastic Four into the MCU in the currently named Phase 4. Now,
when does Phase 4 start? When does that technically start?
Now, first off, I put this in Marvel news because I felt that bringing the characters to Phase, to the MCU is big. X-Men Dark Phoenix. Let's before we jump to Phase 4 and everything.
Okay.
Dark Phoenix. This kind of worries me.
Because it could just be a complete fucking turd.
Because at this point, Fox could have been like, I'm done. We're not going to screw with it. Just
fucking do what you want, man.
Your CGI isn't done. Who cares?
Releases the mocap.
No, I don't think they're going to do that. No, what worries me about it is they pushed back Dark Phoenix and they pushed back
New Mutants isn't going to come out.
And that's what's kind of worrying me. I'm to the point where I think it's true. I don't think we're ever going to see New Mutants.
That's sad.
I don't think we're going to see it.
I think Disney, or not Disney, technically Disney. Yeah. We'll try to. I don't think we'll see that New Mutants, but I think we might see a New Mutants.
Yeah, that one I don't think we're going to see.
Yeah, we're probably never going to see that unless it comes out on like Vimeo in like 4 years.
But it's interesting to think because right now we know that Deadpool 3 is in the works. We have an X-Force movie that's in the works as well. Then there was talk of what was it? Gambit. There we go.
Yeah.
Gambit. And Gambit I don't think is ever going to happen. And honestly, I don't mind if we ever see Gambit, just not with what's his face in the seat. Magic Mike, I can't remember his name.
Yeah. Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum, thank you. I as long as he's not Gambit, give me a Gambit movie. But if he's Gambit,
you just don't.
No.
You have something on him?
I actually like him as an actor. He's just not Gambit to me.
No.
Like, he is the farthest thing from Gambit.
I don't like him as an actor.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Him in Kingsman 2, he just ruined Kingsman 2 for me.
Oh, yeah.
I was just like, get the fuck out.
Even though he was in it for like a minute and a half.
It's still, like, it just annoyed me that he was there. I was like, you're only here because people think you're attractive. Like, that's the only reason you're here. You're going to get all the single women into the theater. That's the only reason you're here. Just like Elton John was in that movie to get the 50-year-olds in the theater.
The 50-year-old gay guys.
Exactly. Even though Elton John was probably the best part of that movie.
Again, I didn't think that role was that great. I don't think the Kingsman 2 was all that good.
But I liked it for Elton John.
Okay, anyway, so X-Men Dark Phoenix will potentially be the last Fox X-Men movie. Cool. I'm looking forward to seeing the movie just because I want to see the Dark Phoenix because we didn't get a real Dark Phoenix in previous iterations of X-Men. So hopefully they do it justice. What's kind of concerning, though, is let's say this movie is fantastic, which I don't think it's going to be, but say it's fantastic and it's like the best X-Men movie ever. It's kind of disappointing that it's going to end with Dark Phoenix then.
Yeah, that's it.
It's like, damn
so
it.
It's a kind of a damned if we do, damned if we don't situation.
Yeah.
Could be a turd. Could be really good, but that's it.
Yeah. Because, that would just suck. So then jumping to, like, as you were asking, like, what is Phase 4?
Yeah, when does Phase 4 technically start?
So Phase 3...
Is that after Avengers 4?
Phase 3, in my opinion, is going to end at Avengers 4. That's my opinion. I don't know if that's what their vision is, because I think that Phase 3 has to wrap up all of the Infinity Gauntlet stuff.
Yeah.
And
the fact that you kind of have to kill off, like, 4 of your heroes.
Yeah. Kind of. Anyways, but the originally it was Infinity and Avengers 3 and 4 were supposed to be the one film just broken into two parts.
The Infinity War.
Essentially, they have stated that it's two separate movies, but very connected in a way.
Yeah.
Like Avengers Infinity War does end. It has an ending. It has an ending that ends that movie. But
kind of a hiatus till the second one.
Avengers 4 does continue the story that was going on. That's what they've kind of stated. So that's why, in my opinion, it either starts with Phase 4 either starts with Avengers 4 or Phase 3 ends with Avengers 4. So
makes sense.
That's kind of the way I look at it. Either way, it's no big deal because if it ends there or starts there, you know that one of the movies coming up after that within the next 5 years is going to be an X-Men movie. So that's kind of exciting.
Maybe New Mutants. You never know.
Never know, yeah.
As long as Ant-Man dies, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I'm not an Ant-Man fan.
I mean, it'd be kind of cool if they found a way to... like I said, like if there's something that happens, whether it's with, the Kree or with the Skrulls or with even Thanos and the Infinity Gauntlet and stuff like that, that causes the mutant gene to awaken within people on Earth.
And you could write that in.
Like that could be an end credit scene somewhere. Like in
for Avengers 4.
Exactly.
And set it up.
A post-credit scene that could essentially set up
your whole phase.
X-Men. Again, I know that a lot of people love the idea of the X-Men, that they've been around since, the 50s, 60s, 70s, whatever, back in that time. This is an opportunity where Marvel can sit here and say, you know what? Yes, we love those characters. We're going to bring those characters that you all love, Wolverine, Professor Xavier, all that kind of stuff. We're going to bring them into our film, or into our universe, but we're going to change it up a little bit. We're going to make it where the mutant gene is activated in some form or fashion and move forward from there, instead of saying, oh, well, mutants have been around forever, we just never talked about them. Because I think that's what's going to be stupid. I think they have to find a way to do it where it makes sense for the now, where everything is unveiled now. And it's similar to how they were trying to do the Inhumans on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Something happened where the Inhuman gene was activated by an event. You can do the same thing, There's no reason
it's not that hard. Just good writing. That's all it takes.
Exactly. All right. So now we're jumping in to the Marvel Infinity War stuff. That was a far jump. Jesus.
Oh my god! I didn't realize I did it for that long.
All right.
It's that time again.
It's that time again.
It's that time of the month.
So Colton has been
making an ass out of himself for the past 2 months.
Since January, more than 2 months.
For the past 4 months.
And basically, we've been going on a journey to Infinity War. We have gone film by film, all the way up to Infinity War. Infinity War comes out this Friday, guys. This freaking Friday. Who's not excited? Who's excited?
I am.
Raise your hand if you're excited. I'm excited. You just raised the roof.
Woo woo!
So Infinity War comes out this Friday, and the last movie that came out prior to Infinity War just came out a couple months back, called Black Panther. So tell me, Colton, all about Black Panther.
He finds this talking bear and this kid in the woods.
No, that's Jungle Book.
Okay.
It starts off with a crazy song at a place called Pride Rock.
Yeah. Was there a Black Panther in Lion King?
No, but they're very similar in some story beats. I don't know if you realize that or not.
Okay, well, cool. So Black Panther's doing shit, and his dad dies, and Ultron? Age of Ultron?
Civil War.
There we go, whatever.
T'Chaka dies, T'Challa takes over.
Yeah. So he goes through this whole, rite of passage shit where he's, getting challenged. Well, he's not getting challenged, but he's, open challenging for people. And they're like, nah, we good. And the other people are like, nah, man, you got this. And this other dude comes up, he's like, I'm gonna get your poo-poo on my pee-pee. And they fight, and he beats the shit out of him. Then he becomes the Black Panther, even though he was the Black Panther before.
No, this wasn't about becoming the Black Panther. This was about running or being the ruler of Wakanda, being the king of Wakanda.
I thought it was the spirit of the Blak Panther. You know what I meant there, kind of. I don't know what I meant there, but he gets buried in dirt and sees all the past Black Panther.
Okay, so what? So what you're trying to say is, So he goes to Wakanda. He comes back from his Civil War duties.
Yeah.
Comes back and
his sister's super smart too.
Yeah. And the thing is he is next up to be king. However, they give the opportunity for the other clans of Wakanda to challenge him if they would like. So in order to do that, they have to remove the power that he is given of the Black Panther. And they give him, he drinks some weird crap, and he is no longer, his powers are taken away from being Black Panther.
How did he get those powers?
They gave them to him.
But when?
When his father was around and alive. Those powers don't mean you're king.
Yeah, no, but wasn't his father the Black Panther?
At one time, but when he got too old, he passed down to his
the mantle.
Son,
okay, okay, no, that makes sense.
Okay,
I should have known that. I'm retarded.
So he fights and he wins. Then because he wins and is king, he still can be the Black Panther again. So because he didn't die, so he can be Black Panther again. So they give him it's some flower that they use.
We're gonna call it that herb.
That herb. So they give him that herb, and then he's buried in sand, and you can take it from there.
So he's like talking to his dad. He's like Dodd, and they talk about some shit.
Dodd.
So they talk about like him not feeling like he's good enough, but he's like, "Don't worry, dude, you got this." And then he wakes up from his hallucination, and then like you get this scene. No, it was the beginning of the movie. You get the scene where like his dad walks in and he's like, "You are my brother," and he kills him. Is that the very beginning of the movie?
Kind of, yeah.
But yeah, so that sets that up, and then this other dude's like getting poo poo on his PP with fuck, what's the name of that dude? I can't think of that dude.
What dude?
He the dude with like the plasma arm. I can't think of the dude who played
Claw?
him. Yeah, but who was the dude who played him? I could see his face. I can't think of his name.
Andy Serkis.
There you go. So Andy Serkis is like,
or Smeagol.
Yeah, Smeagol.
Or Snoke.
So Snoke rolls up to this bitch. But no, aren't they looking for him for something? I don't know. Black Panther was cool, but I didn't really pay attention to it. So they go to this underground club thing for illegal gambling. Him and this bald bitch, and this other bitch.
Michonne.
Yeah, Michonne and the other bitch. Some other bitch. And they all roll up there and they're all like, "We're undercover." But they look really out of place, so they don't blend in too well. So Andy Serkis rolls in, he's gambling and shit, and then a fight ensues because someone decided drinking too much was cool. Remember, kids, drink responsibly. So, yeah, that happened, and like the whole time, this other dude's like there. I can't remember his name. The dude that has the Vegeta armor. So
Killmonger?
Yeah. Well, no, I meant
Michael B. Jordan?
Yeah, there you go. I prefer the actor's name.
Oh, okay.
So Michael B. Jordan's like, "Yeah, I'll save you." Boom, boom, boom. And then like some shit happens, and he kills Andy Serkis, and then he goes and becomes the Black Panther. And then he's like, "Yeah, a war inside the country." And then you're like, "Wait, I thought he was on his side." But betrayal. And so yeah, no, he comes back and he's fighting stuff, and him and Killmonger get into a fight, and then Killmonger gets killed. But a really pretty scene. We still don't know where the Soul Stone is, and the end credit scene, no, post credit scene. Was it post credit or it was end credit with them helping the kids in the city?
That was the mid credit scene, I think.
What the fuck was the post credit?
Or that could have been the end credit scene.
I think that
the post credits was with Sebastian Stan.
Oh yeah, and then White Wolf comes out and he's like, "I still don't have a fucking arm." And then that's it. There's Black Panther in a nutshell. I missed some bits, but I feel that was kind of accurate.
The biggest takeaway for Black Panther is that they have decided to open their borders to the world and start sharing their knowledge and stuff like that.
Knowledge. I'm here standing in my garage with my Lamborghini. You know what's more valuable than my Lamborghini? Knowledge. All right. I read 7 books a day.
Interesting.
You remember those commercials?
No.
Oh my god, I gotta show you this afterwards on. You're gonna appreciate this whole hell of a lot more.
So, that's the Journey to Infinity War. So we got some Infinity War news and stuff like that we're going to talk about. There may be potential spoilers throughout here. So
if we spoil the movie, we're really fucking good, and it's completely on accident.
Some of the news things could be spoilish that I'm going to talk about. Some of the things that came out, but for the most part, I tried to stay away from many major spoilers or anything like that could ruin the film. Again, like you said, if we happen to
get something right, it's on accident.
Yeah, if we happen to spoil it in some form or fashion,
it's completely on accident. We're not that smart.
So Sebastian Stan, who was the Winter Soldier, now supposedly the new White Wolf within the MCU,
just like Captain America's now Nomad, but whatever,
has confirmed that Michelle Pfeiffer, Janet Van Dyne, as well as Michael Douglas, Hank Pym will show up in Infinity War. Now, Hank Pym obviously was the original Ant-Man. He's the one that created the suit and got Scott Lang to continue the journey in the original Ant-Man. Janet Van Dyne is Hank Pym's wife. So she'll be in the movie, and she played the original Wasp. She was the original Wasp. So we're going to see.
So that could be a setup for Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah, essentially. So that's, and I think he kind of accidentally confirmed that.
Yeah. He was just like bullshitting, and he was like,
Yeah, I think that's
like
kind of
he
what
says it, and then you see it on his face, like fuck.
Yeah. It's kind of worrisome of that. Josh Brolin, who plays Thanos, says he shared scenes with Brie Larson, Captain Marvel herself, in an Avengers film. Now, he doesn't say if it's Infinity War or Avengers 4, because you got to remember, Avengers 4 is being filmed. So, now there were rumors a while ago that Captain Marvel was going to show up in Infinity War. So could Thanos be why she is around and hasn't been around for the past 10 plus years in the MCU? Because you got to remember, the Captain Marvel film is going to take place in the 90s, but also in outer space. So Captain Marvel has been around for a while. The fact that it's going to be taking place in outer space, could she have come across Thanos while out in space?
Yeah,
and he captured her because he felt threatened by her and have had her imprisoned.
Yeah.
And that is how she comes into the modern day MCU, because she escapes or gets freed in either an Infinity War or Avengers 4.
I could see the events of Infinity War freeing her, and she's in Avengers 4.
Yeah.
I could see that happening.
I mean, and what's interesting is we know that Samuel L. Jackson is in Captain Marvel, in the film Captain Marvel.
Yeah, because he's had it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane.
So you got to think that he's going to recognize her when she comes back. So that's going to be kind of exciting to see how that works. I'm actually hoping that is like the mid or post-credit scene.
Yeah, that would be tits.
Of Captain Marvel. You know, like I think that would be cool to get people really excited, because, you know, we're going to be on such a down note because somebody or multiple people are going to die in this movie.
Or everybody dies. Remember, you threw out that theory.
But that's the thing, like, you know, we're going to be like, oh.
But see, that would be cool if it ends with everybody dying, then the mid-credit scenes, Doctor Strange, like, starting to reverse time.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
So the directors, the Russos, consider not doing a post-credit scene for Infinity War because they were happy how the film wrapped up. They didn't want to go into too much detail for fear of spilling or spoiling something.
That's a really bad way to say that. Because that means the past 10 years you were dissatisfied with how every movie ended.
No.
That's so bad wording.
That's not what that... I mean, I understand where you're coming from with that.
That's really bad wording.
I think the biggest thing is they wrote the movie. Here's the thing. The post-credit scenes are not always done by the directors of the movie. What'll happen sometimes is the next movie, because a lot of times they reference the next movie that's coming out or something down the line.
Or nothing at all.
And a lot of times that is either Kevin Feige or somebody that says, hey, let's do a little something here to get people excited for the next movie. And that's what I kind of think it happened with the Russos. I think they were kind of like, look, we wrote this movie. We love how it ended. We want to keep it where the ending is the end. You know, that way people come out and they're just like, oh, shit, you know, type of thing. I think that they had to be convinced to be okay with putting that in there. Ultimately, though, it's not their decision.
Yeah.
You know, the
I was going to say, they can say so much.
But Kevin Feige can step in and say, like, guys, sorry, this is getting put in.
Yeah.
You know, so that's kind of the way it works, and that's how it is. So,
I mean, if you're happy with how your story ends, then don't make a post-credit scene that has anything to do with your story. Build it up.
But that's the problem. Like, yes, even...
I mean, I understand you want all the emotion to stay in and not hype anybody else up.
Exactly.
But, like, don't put a mid-credit scene. Make everybody wait till the post-credit.
But you still, like... Some of the best conversations I've ever had from a movie is when I walk out of a movie theater just completely blown away. Like, my eyes are, like, still wide open, and I'm just like...
Star Wars.
What the hell did I just watch?
Episode 8, for example.
You know, I'm just like, whoa.
It took us almost 3 viewings to fully absorb that movie.
Exactly. But if you think about it, okay... Like, that is some of the best times that you ever have in a movie. When you come out and you sit and talk with your friends for the next 2 hours. You watched a movie for 2 hours, then you sit and talk about it for 2 hours. And you're talking about the movie. Let's say we go into that movie's excellent, and then there's a post-credit scene or mid-credit scene where it's Captain Marvel, and like, oh shit, Captain Marvel, what's she going to do? Then the next 2 hours all you're talking about is what Captain Marvel is going to do, and not what happened with the movie. And I think that's where
I can understand
concern
that.
is.
But, like, for us, it's just going to be 2 hours of the movie and then 1 hour of Captain Marvel.
But then, you know, if you think about it, like, Captain Marvel, that mid or post-credit scene could have nothing to do with the movie. So, the movie wrapped up great, but that's what people are going to talk about.
Yeah.
So, or they can make it about the movie, but people are still going to talk about that, because that's going to be the last thing on your mind.
Or if you want to get really innovative, make a preview scene.
I've always said that if they have a movie that's trailer worthy, that's what they should do for some of their post credits. is do the first trailer for things. Like,
exactly.
I just think that would be a cool idea.
Or flat out play a scene in between or in between the previews. Just straight up do it.
Yeah.
Because there's people that are going to be sitting there watching it, and then you could be like, oh, you didn't make it in time. You didn't see that scene. And then you still can hold Captain Marvel's still going to be there. Everybody can enjoy the movie still.
Let me ask you a question. If you could put any X-Men into Infinity War, who would you put in there?
Man, I don't know. Probably Dark Phoenix.
Dark Phoenix?
Yeah, probably.
So that would kind of negate what they're trying to do, though.
I know.
You would want the Phoenix, not the Dark Phoenix.
Well, yeah, you know what I mean. I want that character there.
Okay. For me, I honestly would love to see like Cyclops or even Gambit. Like
Cyclops would be cool.
I think Gambit's like attitude would work really cool off of like Tony Stark and Star-Lord and stuff like that. Like I think it would be a cool little.
He would be a nice add-on.
Exactly, but ultimately, I would love to see Deadpool. Like that would
would be cool.
Fantastic.
Because Thanos would just be throwing shit at him.
Exactly.
Yo.
Exactly. Like, I would love to have seen Deadpool in Infinity War go up against Thanos. How cool would that be? Anyway, with that said, the Russo brothers stated that if they were ever given the chance to throw in an X-Men character into Infinity War, that character would have been Wolverine.
I don't see Wolverine being in Infinity War.
No, I mean...
Like, he would be kind of counterproductive. Like, he can't really do anything.
I mean, he could do a lot. Like, he could jump and, hang on with his claws to back of Thanos. Like, ah!
Yeah, but, like, what if Thanos is actually on his watch and, like, you can't get near him?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I think Wolverine would do more than, say, Gambit or Cyclops would do. And I think he could even do more than what even Phoenix could do. But I'm looking at it from my standpoint, like, as a brawler, as a fighter... He
would have it as a brawler.
Yeah, he would be a good pick. And even if he didn't go up against Thanos himself, taking out, his army and helping take them out, that would be a huge help. Yeah. Having somebody that's nearly invincible.
In the Wakanda scenes.
Yeah.
Like that would be, I would have him there, but not like face to face with Thanos.
Yeah, because it looks like some of the movies actually going to take place on another planet. So
got another planet, Wakanda, and fucking New York.
All right.
It's going to be crazy. I cannot fucking wait. We have, 3 days until this movie?
Yeah. So we got some questions here. Now, in the past, when we had our old podcast, Remote Control, I had a couple Marvel specials that I did with Rachel in the past. And,
Didn't you do one with Phelan? I know you did
one?
DC one.
I did DC with Phelan. I didn't do Marvel. But anyways,
you guys did a Marvel one.
We may have. I don't remember. But I have some questions that I want to talk about and ask you, and I'll answer as well. And we'll see how close we are after we see Infinity War with some of them. So, some questions I think need to be answered first. And maybe you agree with me or not. Some questions I think need to be answered is Loki's allegiance once and for all.
Yeah.
Now, in the trailer one trailer we saw that he was standing with the cronies of Thanos, his order, whatever they're called. But I think he's not standing there with them. I think he was held because if you look, one of them is actually holding a weapon to Loki. I think that happens early on in the movie. I think
that's the first 10 minutes.
I think that's within the first 20 minutes or so, yeah. Because I think that is right after, because how Thor Ragnarok ended, I think it's like right after those moments. So there's that. But I think we need to finally, once and for all, let's know, because rumor has it that we're not going to have another Thor movie after this. Like, after these Avengers, Thor's going away for a while. And that means Loki's gone. And I want to just know his allegiance once and for all, because he's...
Even if he dies in the movie,
and
just let us know one way or another.
Because he's been so flip-floppy. And, I know he's the great trickster. I think they went a little too far with it with these past movies, the first 3 Thor films and the Avengers movie. Because it's just like, okay, it's the same trope over and over again. Just give us one thing, and that's what he is. Whether he's good or bad, I don't care. Just give it to us the way you want it.
Unpopular opinion, I don't even care for Loki.
See, I liked Loki.
I liked him in the beginning, but now it's just to the point where it's just like, please fuck off.
Yeah, because they've done they haven't handled this character properly.
Yeah, it's like you're annoying. Please fuck off.
I think, and this probably is the least important one, but I would love to know where Red Skull is.
No, isn't he? One of us said something about him being in Infinity War.
Yeah, I think there was a rumor a while ago that he could end up being in Infinity War.
But I would like to see it. It would make sense him team up with Thanos for some god unknown reason.
Yeah, I mean, even if he was captured by Thanos, like, you know, if there is a scene where we see Captain Marvel imprisoned or something like that, and you see Red Skull there as well, like, I think that would be cool, you know, just to see Red Skull. I really liked his character, and I want to see more of him.
And he's technically not dead. We might see him later.
Well, he's not dead, nor is he alive in our knowledge, because all we know is he got pulled into the into space, into the portal from the Tesseract, and that's all we know.
Yeah, so he's floating somewhere.
Yeah. Has Tony and Steve made amends? Have Tony and Steve made amends?
I'm going to say we're going to see it in the film.
Yeah, I think we're going to see it in the film.
It's going to be one of their last moments.
Yeah. Because I honestly think that you're going to have two fights going on in the movie. I think you're going to have an Earth fight, and you're going to have one that takes place in outer space on another planet. I think that Tony, Spider-Man, Star-Lord, like the Guardians are going to go onto the other planet, and a lot of other things are going to take place on Earth. And I think Steve is going to kind of lead the Wakanda fight.
Yeah.
While Tony Stark is leading the other fight. I think they will come together at some point, and that's going to be at the end when you see one or both die. It's
going to be the final truce and be like, hey, man, it's been cool. It's been cool, man.
Yeah.
Don't leave me hanging, man.
Yeah, because there's no truce for us.
Oh, I was going to high-five you, but yeah, there you go.
The movie has to answer, where is the Soul Stone? Where do you think the Soul Stone is?
In the soul central of the world, Louisiana. Anyway, really, probably powering Wakanda.
Yeah, I think that's, and I like that being,
or it's not a stone itself per se. Like, there's going to be a stone, obviously, but the stone that everybody knows would be Wakanda, because it's going to eventually become the soul of the earth because they are so technologically advanced.
Maybe it's an interesting thought.
I can get deep sometimes, yo. Where do you think it's powering Wakanda?
I do, yeah. I think that's what gives them a lot of their
advanced
technology. Where is Captain Marvel? I mean, we talked about that like 15 minutes. For 15 minutes already.
She's floating in space somewhere, yo.
No, that's Red Skull.
They're chilling.
They're just playing some poker or something.
Yeah. All
right. So the question's for you.
Okay.
What has been your favorite Marvel MCU movie thus far?
Movie. You know what? Honestly, I'd have to think about this one. I really would have to think about this one. I wasn't prepared. Like, I read them, but I'm still not that prepared. All
right, for me, since I'll let you think, for me, it's Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier is a good one.
I just think that it advanced the comic book superhero movie genre. And unfortunately, Marvel did not learn from that, and they fell back into their old ways with the rest of their movies. But it pushed it forward and took it in a direction that I don't think people realized you could take these comic book and superhero films. And that's what I loved it so much about it. You know, it's basically, think of it's like Jason Bourne, but Captain America.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what's so cool about it. That's what I love about it. And I think that if there were to make more Captain America films, like they would need to follow that direction and go forward with that. And even other superhero movies, they should try and not continuously make the same movie over and over again.
Yeah, like Guardians of the Galaxy.
You know, because that's the thing. Like, you know, they have a good idea, and it's kind of like, okay, let's. Like Ant-Man, the original Ant-Man was supposed to be a heist film. Like they talked about being a heist film.
Turned into shit.
And it's not. Like, it doesn't feel
awful.
Like a heist film.
It's awful.
Like,
it's
if you want to do a heist film, like they should make a heist film and kind of copy it off of something like the movie Heat.
Yeah.
Or The Town, or something like that. That is a little darker, a little grimmer, and a little more realistic and strong in that form. Again, do different things with these movies and move forward with that, and you can bring them all together. It'll work. And I'm not saying that I want every Captain America movie to be like Winter Soldier, but
because you can't necessarily do that.
Yeah, but it was such an interesting concept, an interesting way to do it. I think that they need to continue moving forward and doing different things, trying different things out with these movies. So that's my favorite. So did that give you enough time?
I mean, I do. My favorite's probably, honestly, Doctor Strange. I'm a huge Doctor Strange fan. I like the character. But the more I think about it, like, I'm just sitting here picking out aspects of the movies that I liked. Like, Guardians of the Galaxy and the Celestials. You know what I mean? Like, that could have been something big that they could have used. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of squandered. And, you know, you got the time travel in Doctor Strange, which is what I like. The whole, like, innocent, like, Spider-Man thing that they have going on, where he's still like a kid in high school. Like, yeah, it could be built on. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, actually, some news that I just saw today that I forgot to bring up. Speaking of Spider-Man, the sequel to Spider-Man: Homecoming is supposedly going to take place at least partially in Europe, which I think is kind of weird.
What would you be doing in Europe, yo?
I mean, I don't know, and it's
but it is after Avengers 4, though.
Yeah,
so.
and the thing that kind of upsets me a little bit about that is the fact that I think, personally, for me, I think that they need to get to his New York roots and stay in New York.
Exactly.
Because, yes, we had 5 movies already with him in New York. 6 movies, well, 5. Because even last one didn't take place completely in New York. There was a lot of DC
New York,
stuff.
Yeah.
So
New York, DC.
Yeah. So, like, I think they need to get onto that. But, anyways, that's besides that.
But, like, I Doctor Strange would be the favorite, but there's so many different things that I like. Like, Hela could have been very big from Ragnarok, but... I mean, we still don't know if she's dead either.
Yeah. And can she die? I don't think she can die.
No, because she's the goddess of death.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, oh, I came for myself.
All right.
And she could play a role in Thanos' storyline, too.
Could.
Because he has a huge boner for her.
Well, kind of, yeah.
I mean,
he has a boner for Lady Death, and that's a little different than Hela's character.
Yeah.
But that's the comics. They can adjust.
They could make her that.
They could make her Lady Death, essentially. All right. Least favorite MCU film?
Ant-Man.
Why?
I don't like Ant-Man.
Why?
Because it's awful.
Why?
Because he's awful.
Why?
Because he doesn't have a fucking superpower. He can shrink and make himself big. I mean, so can my penis.
Hawkeye doesn't have any superpowers.
Yeah, but he can fucking fly.
No, he can.
Yeah, he can.
Not Hawkeye.
Uh-huh.
Hawkeye cannot fly.
Yeah, he can. He makes arrows fly. That's why I don't like Hawkeye either. Like, he's completely irrelevant to it.
Okay, Black Widow.
She's hot.
It's okay if they don't have superpowers as long as they're hot.
No, but Scarlett Johansson, like, her character actually plays something in the storyline of Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
What does Hawkeye do? Or is his storyline relevant to anybody?
I mean, they kind of expanded his story in like, Age of Ultron a little bit.
But like, really, like, other than that, he could die and no one would be... Oh, it'd be like, oh, cool. We don't have to listen to him anymore. Same thing with Ant-Man.
I feel bad because he's the only one that really has family and kids and stuff. That would be sad.
Yeah, but guess what? His kids can become superheroes. Maybe they'll have real powers. Ant-Man, what does he do? His storyline's relevant to no one. Exactly. That's why I don't like Ant-Man. If Hawkeye had a standalone movie, it would be Hawkeye and Ant-Man.
I'm sure if you've listened to this show, you can maybe guess what my least favorite MCU movie is.
Iron Man 3.
Actually, that's not far off.
It's Ragnarok.
No, I didn't mind Ragnarok. It just they showed all the good stuff on the previews.
Okay. Doctor Strange.
Again, that's in my
what?
bottom. That's in my bottom. Yeah, I'm not a big fan. I'm kind of like you with the whole thing. He has no powers.
Doctor Strange kind of does.
He's not a superpower. He doesn't have superpower. He just uses magic. That's not a superpower.
Yeah, but that's more than Hawkeye. I'm not wrong.
No, I mean you're not.
And he does have a stone, so
the coolest thing about Doctor Strange
is his motherfucking cape. I don't
care. Cape, exactly.
I'll even agree with you on that one. But realistically, Civil War.
Yeah, Civil War is my
very realistically.
Yeah, that's my least favorite movie. Again, I just think it was poorly written, poorly put together. It was basically 2 hours of just introducing Tom Holland as Spider-Man and Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther. There was nothing else. There was nothing else in the movie that was relevant. Now I know that they're going to try and make it relevant for the next movie for Infinity War. This because of how the Avengers supposedly broke up, but they didn't really break up, but they broke up.
See, that movie should have waited till when they got the X-Men. Oops, sorry.
Because the problem is the controversy, the animosity between Tony and Steve is not played on properly.
Yeah.
They make it like they were best friends. Never in the history of the MCU in the past 10 years have we ever seen them as best friends. We've never seen them interact as best friends. All we've ever seen them is fight with each other. That's all we've ever seen them do. So the fact that this movie tried to say that they were best friends is ridiculous. It just pisses me off. Like it to no end. You have no idea how much it pisses me off. People sit there and complain and say, "Well, how do you know they weren't friends between movies? We weren't shown that, so in my eyes, they were never friends."
Yeah, no. Are there books? Are there canon books that explain that?
No,
exactly.
And again, every time you ever see them, they're always
at each other
in some form or fashion. Tony Stark first sees Captain America, he makes jokes about him because he's jealous of Steve Rogers because of how his father talked about him. Steve Rogers is not happy with how Tony Stark, how he acts. He does not appreciate how he thinks he's so smart and everything like that. Like there's so much of it that they just miss the mark on everything with that movie. From that standpoint, the villain Zemo was easily the weakest villain in all of the MCU. Like his plan solely was on the idea and the fact that these three characters show up in an icy bunker at the same time. Luckily, there was a VHS player there. Luckily, they all walk into the same room at the same time to watch that VHS.
Like there were so many what ifs there.
Exactly, like there was just.
It was so unrealistic.
I understand that movies do that. Like it just things happen.
Saw, for example.
But things happen because you have to push a story forward.
Yeah, plot
I get
armor.
That. But this, it's just you start pulling the layers off, and you're like, okay, this was screwed up. So if this makes no sense, then this is screwed up, and that's what you have to do. Like if you see,
and then before you know it, only the first 10 minutes of the movie makes sense.
Exactly, and that's kind of my problem. I also don't think Tony Stark's switch from originally being completely against any government control to all of a sudden government control. I felt that was ridiculous because Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2. Iron Man 3, like he just is completely against the government having any type of control over him or his armor and his suits. And then all of a sudden, yes, I understand the thing that happened at Sokovia was such a big issue and it kind of scarred him, but he was more scarred from the Battle of New York than he was from Sokovia. Some random mother coming up and getting mad at him when, if you just sat down and think logically, yes, it's partially his fault that it happened, but he saved more lives than were killed, and
that's sometimes being a hero.
That's being a hero, and he needs to understand that just like our military in the real world,
saving the lives of many is worth the lives of a few.
And unfortunately, that's the way it is in the world.
It's a lose-lose situation in that
exactly.
stance.
So the fact that Tony just, who's supposed to be one of the smartest men in the world, just switches and doesn't think of that kind of stuff,
becomes dumb.
Exactly. Like there's so much of that movie just is so aggravating, and it's just unfortunate because it had a lot of potential, and it just.
You want to hear Nicole's least favorite Marvel film?
Which is
Black Panther.
Really?
You want to know why?
Why?
She made it 15 minutes in and fell asleep. Literally slept almost the entire film up until the end.
Watch, she'll fall asleep during Infinity War.
She better fucking not. You have no. I'm not. I know we have like a couple more questions. You have no idea how hyped I'm gonna be when I see fucking Iron Spider. That's my favorite iteration of Spider-Man.
All right. So
I have every single pop figure.
Favorite MCU character to this point?
To this point? Oh shit. Hawkeye. I had to.
Ant-Man.
Don't even hit me with that age shit, man. Don't even. Favorite character? Ironically, Groot would rank up there.
Interesting.
Because, like, old Groot, not new Groot. Because they're technically two different characters.
They are.
I liked Hela. I wish she would have been built on a little bit more. Every
villain should have been built on more in this franchise.
Yeah, but Hela had a lot of potential, and she still kind of can.
Yeah.
Let me think here. Go ahead with yours. You're hitting me with shit I didn't even think of yet. BB-8.
Wrong franchise.
Ah, damn it.
Yeah.
It's in space. Star Wars is in space. Close enough. Damn it.
My favorite character, I think, is going to be Star-Lord. Even though I really did not like Guardians of the Galaxy 2, I think that they got his character his development, his story, his progression has been flawless thus far in the two movies. Like everything about him has been spot on. Even Gamora, like the Guardians, like, their character progressions, while Guardians of the Galaxy 2 sucked, their character progressions still really worked. Whereas you take a look at something like Iron Man, his story progression got all kind of out of whack. You know, like they did this progression up through Iron Man 3, and even though I don't like Iron Man 3, it was an important part of his character development, and then they completely screwed up in Civil War. You know, Captain America, he's pretty much been a good, you know, character being developed throughout the entire universe or whatever, but franchise. But you know, again, I think it's a little too on the nose. Plus, I think the whole thing again in Civil War ruined him a little bit. Bucky, Winter Soldier, he would probably be my number 2 favorite character because again, he had a really interesting progression. You know, of his backstory about how he's, you know, brainwashed, became the Winter Soldier, that kind of stuff. My only problem with that is it changed too fast. Like I thought that for being as brainwashed as he was,
that he came to his senses that quick.
Yeah, that kind of.
I could see that.
A little turn off for me. Scarlett Johansson's character of Black Widow, I think, is amazing. Vision is cool. Scarlet Witch herself. First off, I'm a huge Elizabeth Olsen fan. I think she's gorgeous. I think that she's a cool, you know, good actress.
I think she's a little underrated in the MCU.
I do too. I really do like her character. I like it. If you ever even watch interviews with her, like she is a fun time. Like, you know, you could sit there and like she truly loves being this character. Same with, you know, Robert Downey Jr. All these actors love playing their characters,
except for like, you know, Captain America.
Yeah,
I can't think of his name.
He doesn't. It's not that he hates being it. I think he's just kind of like, all right,
he's over it.
I want to do something else, you know, and that's fine.
Maybe the Nomad will come back.
But again, I'm going to go with Star-Lord. I just think his character, to me, he reminds me of somebody who I would want to hang out with. You know, like I would want to.
Yeah, I could see that.
I would want to hang out with Star-Lord. I want to, you know, see what he's going to do next. That kind of thing.
Kick back and you know, listen to cool 80s music and drink some beers.
Yeah, exactly.
See, I was thinking I kind of like shit, why can't I think of his name now? I'm drawing a blank. Man, cool. You hear all that silence we let in there? I actually kind of like Bruce Banner / Hulk.
Okay.
I like to watch, like, well, I not like to watch, but I like the struggle between should I be the Hulk? Like, his temper, him trying to control his temper, I guess.
Trying to control the Hulk, because I mean, essentially, you know, it's a you know, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type of thing, where when he's won, they're in control, and Bruce Banner has been trying to find a way to control both Bruce Banner and the Hulk, which
kind of gets like played on in Ragnarok, a little bit, because essentially Thor's storyline has been kind of the Hulk storyline for the most part. Think about it. Didn't make sense after I said it out loud. I was focusing that statement on Ragnarok.
Yeah, that's pretty much all it was. Ragnarok. I mean, again, I can't say, like, he's had an interesting story. The only problem I have with it is I kind of wish that we would have a Hulk movie.
Yeah, that, you know, isn't the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, I like the Incredible Hulk. I think that's a good movie. But again,
you know, if we would have had Bruce Banner, or not Bruce Banner,
Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah, there you go.
I liked Edward Norton in there too.
But, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's that continuity thing.
I don't even see it because it's part of the MCU. It's all together. I don't see it that way. It's just,
he had some weird plastic surgery done.
So your least favorite character?
Ant-Man and Hawkeye. See question 2. Do you want me to go back into that? Because they don't have powers. Hawkeye is literally a piece of shit. Both him and the actor who plays him are literal pieces of shit. Ant-Man, we could be Ant-Man in the MCU and be pretty much as relevant as he is.
All right, here, let me do this then. Let me throw a curveball at you.
Okay.
Out of the big heroes, the big ones.
So like the 4.
So we'll say, you know, Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Hulk. Obviously, it wouldn't be Hulk, but like out of them, you know, and even we'll say even the Guardians because they're
hands down Thor.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong. I like the God aspect, but like out of all of the storylines, I just don't like the most. It's based mostly on story. Mm-hmm. If it's character, probably Captain America. if they decide to not give him the Nomad name in Infinity War, which I doubt they will, they'll just keep, referring to him as his actual name and not Captain America. I can't think of his. I'm awful with names.
Mm-hmm.
But he's actually technically Nomad. Yeah, no, it'd probably be that. I'd go Thor. Maybe even Captain America.
I kind of have two. I'm going to go with Yondu from Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think he developed well enough. I don't think that he was utilized properly. That whole ending of Guardians of the Galaxy 2 didn't work because of that. And that's kind of the problem. Like, I won't lie. Like, the moment at the very end when all of the what are they called? I can't think right now. But
Celestials?
Not the Celestials. The
space planets.
No, what was the group of the people that Yondu was part of? The gangs, whatever.
There we go.
Yeah.
We'll refer to them as gangs.
I can't think right now. But the moment when they respect and honor him after they said they wouldn't, I was like, okay, that's touching, but that was only built in that movie. Like, it wasn't built up prior to that. And I think that if that would have gone on for, say, 2 or 3 movies where, he's constantly put down by Sylvester Stallone and all those people, like, that would have meant more had it had a longer time with it. I also, the whole side of things where, he's protecting Star-Lord, but not protecting Star-Lord, not protecting. It was kind of just like
the tough love thing.
All right, okay, whatever.
We get it.
Yeah.
You only came on his birthdays. Yeah. We understand.
Basically. But probably my number one most hated character, and you're going to like this because it comes from your least favorite movie, is Lewis from Ant-Man.
Yeah, because, he was an Ant-Man, right?
He was not funny. People sit there and say that he's the best part of that movie.
There's the best part of that movie. The best part of the movie is the fucking end.
He was too much. It was too forced. The jokes were too forced. It was too much. He was the comedic relief.
That movie exists.
He was a comedic relief in a movie that was filled with comedy. And that you don't need comedic relief in a movie that's filled with comedy. That's the problem. Like, you need an actor for comedic relief in an action movie or a serious drama. Like, that's when you need some comedic relief acting.
That whole movie's the comedy relief in the fucking MCU. Because it's a fucking joke.
So to me, I would have to say that Lewis from Ant-Man is the worst character and my least favorite character in the MCU. And I know a lot of people are going to be mad because I know that that's a very unpopular opinion, but...
Well, I hate the whole fucking movie, so I agree with you. That movie's so bad.
So what are your expectations, man? What are your expectations for Infinity War? I know last week we talked about what kind of money it's going to make domestically. I said 270 in the opening weekend.
I said what, like 142 or some shit.
242 or
240,
245 or something like that.
Yeah, something like just below Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars was 248. You said just below it.
Yeah, so like 242.
Yeah.
I'm honestly kind of hoping for like the actual Marvel movie we need, and it's kind of a serious war movie, because it's Thanos invading Earth. Yeah, essentially.
Again, like I said, I love The Winter Soldier so much, which the Russo brothers directed. They also directed Civil War. You take a look. My least favorite movie are directed by the same people. And
I worry about the comedy. Like, this movie should not have any comedy in it at all. Other than like Star-Lord's character.
It should have lighthearted moments. You know, I think it can play off of Star-Lord and Spider-Man. Those are the two characters I think can bring the lightheartedness to it, and they need to, because I think you're going to need to have some lightheartedness in it.
Not like everybody.
No,
like, this should not be a comedy by any stretch of the imagination.
But I think that for me, it needs to be more Winter Soldier and less Civil War. That's what needs to happen with this movie to be successful.
I mean, it's going to be successful regardless.
For to be successul in my eyes. Yeah. I think that's what it needs to do.
I'm excited for 10 years of waiting. Fucking Iron Spider. You don't, like, when you saw Luke and Leia in episode 8, is going to be me seeing Iron Spider.
Yeah, I mean,
that's gonna be me.
I completely understand what you're saying, because that moment for me in Episode 8 was the
moment
that I was waiting for since I was a kid. After I saw Return of the Jedi for the last time, I was like, or not the last time, but for the first time, it was just kind of like, they need to get together again. We need to see them together.
And then you waited 4 years.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, technically, Episode 3.
Yeah.
Technically, formalities. I know. But like I can't wait. Like I don't know how else to say it. I've been excited for this film way more than you have been. Well, way longer than you have been.
Yeah.
Fucking Iron Spider-Man. Fucking I can't wait. Give me those extra appendages. But since technically, when does Homecoming 2 come out? I mean, I know it doesn't come out to what, like 2020 at least. Maybe well, no, not 2019 because that's next year. 2020? 2021?
Well, no, it comes out next year, I think. July 5th, 2019.
That's a shame.
First movie after Avengers 4.
That's a shame. You think the Disney deal will be done by then?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
They could bring in, like, Doc Ock and stuff, couldn't they?
Doc Ock can be brought in anyways. That has nothing to do with Fox.
Well, what? I thought it did.
No. Spider-Man Sony.
Oh yeah, no, that's right. But like now we could see like Doc, like a good Doc Ock, and well, even the Doc Ock was good in the first one.
We really don't even have any idea of who the villain is going to be yet.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I think with that, I think they're going to kind of go off the rail because they did it with Vulture. There's somebody different that we haven't seen before. I don't think we're going to get a Green Goblin for a while.
Yeah, we don't.
I don't think we're going to get Doc Ock because he was played so well by Alfred Molina in Spider-Man 2, and that's still held up as one of the best superhero movies of all time. And I completely agree.
Fucking good.
So I think there's a lot of things that you sit there and think about, like, okay, what can they go with, so. I don't know.
If they want to,
I've heard Kraven could be.
That'd be cool.
In the next one, I would like that. I'd like to see Kraven. I think that'd be really cool. So we'll see.
Venom.
Yeah, Venom would be nice, wouldn't it?
Carnage.
But anyway, back to Infinity War. Yeah. I mean, it's coming out this week, man.
I know.
3 years.
3 days.
10 years. It's taken 10 years. I sat there and thought about this the other day, and I remember going to the theater. I went with Jordan to see the first Iron Man. It was Jordan and I saw the first Iron Man together. And I remember walking out of that theater like, man, that was a good movie. That was a really good movie. Like, I did not think that an Iron Man movie would be good. And Jordan and I, I never thought that 10 years from then we'd be seeing what we're seeing right now. Because even then, even when Iron Man was released, there wasn't any talk of a Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah. It was just Iron Man.
It was Iron Man.
Because at that point, they were just doing one-offs.
Yeah. So, like, you sit here and you just, you think about it. You're just like...
We've come a long way in 10 years. 10 years ago, I was still in school. I was 12. 10 years ago.
But you really think about it. Like, it's going to be interesting to see where it goes after this at this point. Because where's it going to go?
Because if they do go the way of killing everybody, like if this is the film where they just like kill off the four being Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, and
Hulk.
If they kill them off, then you're like, oh shit, we have no one that we can relate to, like back from the big. So it's like Marvel. Spider-Man?
Well, like I said, like I really think that after all is said and done with Avengers 4, I think our Avengers lineup is going to look completely different. It's going to be Spider-Man. It's going to be Captain Marvel,
Black Panther,
Scarlet Witch. Maybe Vision, depending on what happens with him in the next movie or two. But that's going to be our core. Your Captain Marvel or Captain America, your Iron Man, your Hulk, your Thors. They're going to be off doing their own thing, whether they're dead or retired or whatever.
You don't think the Winter Soldier, Bucky.
He might take on the mantle of Captain America. We may even see what's his name? Falcon, take on the mantle. Here's the thing. Even if that happens, I don't think it's going to happen immediately.
Yeah. I think we're going to have a phase where we're not going to see anything like that.
Yeah. And I also think that what we're going to see is, Tony Stark's going to walk away. I'm going to put money in. Now, this isn't going to happen in Infinity War, but by the end of Avengers 4, Pepper will be pregnant. And that's what's going to pull him away from being Iron Man. That's why he'll stop, because he has a kid on the way. That's what's going to pull him away. I'm telling you.
Doesn't mean he's not going to still make suits, though.
Yeah, and I think he'll be.
Like,
I think he'll pop up occasionally at some point.
He'll still be like the Samuel L. Jackson.
But I'm telling you, that's what's going to pull Tony out of it completely. I still think Steve dies. But again, I don't think he stays dead. I think he will come back in like 5-10 years. Bruce Banner, I think, is going to find a potential cure and use
the Hulk
it.
will be dormant.
Yeah, and he'll be dormant, not completely cured, but I think he'll be dormant. Thor, I think, is going to go and create a new Asgard, and he will be the ruler, so he has to stay and rule Asgard. That's kind of what I think is going to happen with those 4 characters.
And then you can just sign the actors on for like one
movie here.
Yeah,
and there.
one movie. You're making just a cameo. That's it.
So that's kind of what I see it as.
I can see that.
I don't know. I mean, I'm excited. I know you're excited.
Fucking Iron Spider-Man.
I'm probably less excited than you, but I'm still...
Fucking Iron Spider.
To me, this is the start of the movie, this summer movie.
Yeah.
Fun. So what we're going to do is probably...
Yeah, that's going to be an episode coming up.
Yeah, next week. Actually, it's going to have to be next week. We're obviously going to have a whole review of...
Oh my god, Infinity. We're going to have to maybe do 2 episodes.
We might. But yeah, next week we're definitely going to have an episode where we review Infinity War, and then we're also going to have our summer movie preview show. Maybe together, maybe separate. Don't know what we're going to do yet, but keep
it depends. It depends on how much of Infinity War there is.
Yeah, but
if it goes over 20 minutes, look into 2 episodes.
Yeah, pretty much. So. Yeah, so with all that,
it's been your average boy skinny penis.
And Robert. And we will talk to you all next week. Enjoy Infinity War, everybody. Enjoy it.
May the odds forever be in your favor.